Hello everyone, welcome to the FNAF show, and this is the first ever theory video that I am doing. Now, to start us off with the first theory video, I would like to kind of start with the congratulations of Secret of the Mimic, probably the second most anticipated FNAF game, right after Security Breach, and just want to say a huge shout out to Steel Wool and Scott Cawthon for doing an amazing job on this. I was told that it was about as big as Security Breach, and production started 2022. So this was during the Ruin DLC and before Tales of the Pizzaplex came out. So this has been in the works for a while. Anyway, my groundbreaking theory, if you haven't seen my post already, I did post yesterday while I was watching a playthrough of Secret of the Mimic. Because I'm poor and I can't afford Secret of the Mimic. I've just been doing FNAF plushie videos. Which, by the way, if you want to see me make plushies of any of these characters, let me know down in the comments and I will gladly get the resources to make them. But anyway, theory time. Alright, as I was watching a playthrough of Secret of the Mimic, I noticed more and more that this almost warehouse sort of thing it just kind of felt like a lot of things were connected. Like, I don't know, I might as well just outright say it. I think Edwin Murray, or rather I should say William Afton or Henry Emily, are stand-ins for Edwin Murray. This is a groundbreaking theory that may change the FNAF lore forever. And as I continued watching, I noticed more and more differences. Or similarities. So, I have a total of 3 theories that I think could potentially be true. One of them is Edwin Murray is Henry Emily. Another one is Edwin Murray is William Afton. And the third one is that Edwin Murray is both of these people and he suffers from multiple personality disorder. But I don't know. So, to start us off, Henry Emily. Now, I was watching a playthrough, Secret of the Mimic, and I'm just going to say this, there are definitely spoilers ahead, so fair warning, if you don't want to hear about it, then click off the video immediately. But, continuing on, while I was watching the playthrough of Fusion Z Gamer, subscribe to him by the way, he entered a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria underneath the manor, and it was FNAF 1 styled. So the reason why I say this is because in FNAF 6, Henry Emily says that the original 4 characters are of his making, and with basically the entire FNAF 1 pizzeria being underneath the manor, this could very well mean that Edwin Murray is Henry Emily, and we've had Henry Emily wrong the entire time as he was the stand-in for Edwin Murray. Now, obviously, this is a crazy theory, and there are definitely flaws in this. Like, for example, Henry's end speech basically calling out his daughter. As we know, Edwin never had a daughter, so that can easily be thrown out the window, and that would make a major retcon, but it would also fix a retcon of Henry Emily basically saying that the original 4 are of his making. Well, technically 3. As I also noticed that only Bonnie, Freddy, and Foxy were the originals. in all this, and that he or Edwin Murray, I guess, made it. I don't know. This is all very confusing, and there are a lot of gaps in this theory, which is why the second theory may make more sense. Now, theory number 2. This is William Afton. Now, I say this because that the manor is on top of a hill, just like in FNAF Help Wanted's DLC Halloween update. The FNAF 4 house is also on top of a hill. And, furthermore, in that same pizzeria, we see underneath the manor, we see a Fredbear and Spring Bonnie costume. Now, obviously, they don't look like anything. They don't look anything like the ones that we see from Ultimate Custom Night and the unused Spring Bonnie model from Help Wanted in the game files. They look nothing like that. They're a lot more bulkier. It seems like something out of Final Nights, but nonetheless, we see them, and we also see a bunch of other animatronics, which you can go look on the Fazbear Wiki page for any of those, I believe. And this theory might actually make a little more sense than the other one, because it goes to show that William Afton, as we know, or as I know, is a designer of Springlock suits. Potentially, this could be his factory, and he's under a fake name and fake ID, which we've seen him do before. Plus, near the end of the game, we go inside the manor, and there are a bunch of, like, recordings and, like, reels, I guess you could call it. And each reel is basically Edwin and his family celebrating birthdays. Now, I know this might sound really random, a birthday, but it's FNAF lore. You cannot take anything out of the main story. So we're going to incorporate this for this theory. Now, I know you might be wondering, what about Michael Afton and Elizabeth? Well, if William Afton is Edwin Murray, then this would also make sense. These reels would also make sense in existing with the continuity, or the main story. So, as we know, Elizabeth died at a young age because of Circus Baby, and it makes sense that she wouldn't be in the picture, or in this case the film, of Edwin celebrating his son's birthday. And Michael Afton, he might have just kicked out or went off to college, which would also make sense because he's a lot older. He's the oldest of the Afton children, and thus probably had other things to do. Not to mention the fact that the manor connects up with the company, the main warehouse company thing. I'm not really sure what you would call it. It's more like a warehouse. This also points direct evidence to, I believe it's called Dream Theory, where in the Bunker of Sister location, we see the FNAF 4 house, or what is presumably the FNAF 4 house, and that is connected with Sister location. Now, obviously, Tales of the Pizzaplex clears all that up, but as of now, bear with me. This would also make sense on how William Afton might have gotten his hands on the Mimic and basically programmed it to, I don't know, take Remnant or something? I don't know. I'm just calling this off the top of my head and throwing ideas at the board. But I do believe this is a very likely theory. Now, the last theory I have might be a little stretch. Edwin Murray suffers from multiple personality disorder. It's a real thing. Trust me, look it up. Yeah. So, Edwin Murray suffering from multiple personality disorder. It's real, and it has several cases of it. And this would make a ton of sense, logically speaking, in the likes, or possibly... Oh, jeez, I don't know where I'm going with this. Hang on. I gotta collect myself. Alright, we're good. Edwin Murray suffering from multiple personality disorder, and those multiple personalities are basically himself, and then Henry, Emily, and William Afton. Now, basically combining these ideas together and putting it in the third theory, plus gathering more evidence from the game, like the fact that both of these men, Henry and William, either don't have wives or were divorced. Now, we know from the game that Fiona, Edwin's wife, died in a Fall Fest fire and was then basically rebuilt by Edwin to become the Mimic, basically Mimic 2 programming, I believe. Now, she is then put into the Mex's system, and from there she basically lives on as digital programming of David's mother. Another thing to note is that Henry in the books, his wife is divorced, or divorces him, and this could also make very logical sense for him to basically do what Edwin is doing, recreating his wife digitally. And both of these men have done it before. William says that he'll try to put them back together. Ultimately fails, but who's to say? And then Henry, Emily, the better of the two in my opinion, succeeds at this and actually makes 4 different Charlies throughout the span of her life. And I believe this theory could be the jackpot, but I could be wrong. And by that I mean that it could be correct. So, what can we get from this? Obviously, there are a bunch of gaps, like what happened to David and what about Tiger Rock? Now, Tiger Rock acts a lot like Golden Freddy, sort of. Hallucinations and kind of inching closer to you in like an underground warehouse. Another thing to note is a moon mascot. It's quite literally a moon that looks like it's taken out of Zelda and put into Five Nights at Freddy's. Now we now know the origins of Sun and Moon. So, what now? Obviously, I saw that Fiona is like to the main player, or Arnold, I believe. Just kind of finish some Mimic 2 programming. It's going to be A-okay, I think. And it could be possible that Fiona is the Mimic 2 programming, but that wouldn't make sense. So, that's probably not it. I don't know. Let me know your theories down in the comments. I think I have something that could change the FNAF lore forever. I just can't quite grab it. So, let me know your ideas down in the comments. And I just wanted to get this out there with the release of Secret of the Mimic, and just basically kind of clear some things up for myself and maybe for you guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of a weird one, but it's okay. It's my first one, so I'll cut some slack. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, notify, because this video is A-okay. Anyway, until next time.